Good morning. Today we are starting about the reversible process. Reversible process. Here first we have to study the definition of the reversible process. According to the reversible process, it is the process in which there will be changes in the direct process, which can be exactly reversed, is called a reversible process. According to the reversible process means what we have to tell, it is the process where the changes will be occurred. Okay, when we are taken the changes in the direct process, it should be exactly reversed. Then we can call it as a reversible process. The example for the reversible process is we are taking a very slow expansion. Example is very slow expansion, other one is very slow compression. Very slow compression of a gas. These are the examples for the reversible process. In the same way, we have to consider here a reversible process. Here to explain about the irreversible process, again we are taking it is a process in which there will be a direct changes or the direct process which cannot be exactly reversed. Here we are using which cannot be exactly reversed is called irreversible process. The examples for the irreversible process is sudden expansion of a gas. Sudden expansion of a gas. And sudden compression of a gas. These are the examples for the irreversible process. In the reversible process, we can change. In the irreversible process, we cannot change. These are the some examples for the reversible and the irreversible process. Now next we have to study about the heat engine. Heat engine. Heat engine we have to define here. Heat engine can be defined as it is the device. It is the device which can be converted heat into mechanical work. Heat into mechanical work. Is called as heat engine. Heat engine can be defined as what? It is the device which can be converted heat into the mechanical work. Then we can call it as heat engine. Now next we have to study the efficiency of heat engine. Now next we have to study about the efficiency of heat engine. The efficiency of heat engine can be denoted as neta. Neta means we are calling it as efficiency of heat engine. This neta is equal to, we can write it as neta is equal to output work by the heat supply. Or it can be defined as it is is the ratio of the output work by the heat supplied. It's called as the efficiency of heat engine, or this can be also written as output work. We are considering it as W. Next we are considering heat supply. We are considering Q1. Q1 means heat supply, or this can be also written. We know that W is equal to, we can consider Q1 minus Q2. Heat absorbed and other one is heat rejected. Now next just we are putting the value of W. Next we are getting Q1 minus Q2 by Q1. Therefore theta is equal to, we are getting the equation as Q1 minus Q2 by Q1. Here we have to study the systematic diagram of the efficiency of heat engine or the heat engine. Now let us consider here. First we have to study here systematic diagram of the heat engine. Here we have to consider one is T1, other one is T2. T2 and T1 are the temperature at the hot body and other one is your cold body. Q1 and Q2 are the heat absorbed and other one is your heat rejected. Now by using this we have to put the diagram. Now first we are considering here hot reservoir. Then we are considering T1. Next, here we are applying Q1. Next, here we are considering Q2. Here we are taking the substances as cold reservoir T2. And here we are considering the working substances W. Next, we can get here value as Q2 is equal to W minus Q1. Q2 is equal to, we can get the value as W minus Q1. Just to find the value of W, we are considering Q2 is equal to W minus Q1. Next, take this Q1 this side. Q2 plus Q1. W plus Q1 it is minus is equal to W. Therefore, the value of W is equal to Q2 minus Q1, or it can be also written as Q1 minus Q2. The value of W. W is equal to, we are considering Q1 minus Q2. This is the diagram for the heat engine. Now, therefore, by using this W, we have taken the value W is equal to Q1 minus Q2. And therefore, theta is equal to Q1 minus Q2 by Q1. In the same way, we can apply for the temperature. Therefore, theta is equal to, in the case of Q1 and Q2, just we are applying the temperature T1 minus T2 by T1. Therefore, the efficiency of heat engine T1 by T1 minus T2 by T1. Or it can be also written as T1 get cancelled. Theta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. Therefore, this is the efficiency for the heat engine in the terms of the hot reservoir T1 and the cold reservoir T2. Now, in the same way, according to the first law of the thermodynamics, it states that the first law of the thermodynamics is stated as here, according to the first law of the thermodynamics, we can tell that heat and work are interconvertible. According to the first law of the thermodynamics, we can tell that heat and work are interconvertible. Here there are some applications or some limitations we have to study. Now first one we are studying that when the heat is flowing, we cannot define or we cannot mention in which direction the heat can flow. Now second one we have to study that why the heat can be converted into mechanical work. Why the heat can be converted have to study in the first law of the thermodynamics. According to the first law of the thermodynamics, we can tell that heat and work are interconvertible. Heat and work are interconvertible. Some limitations we have to study here. In this limitation, how the heat is flowing or in which direction the heat can be flow, we cannot tell, and the heat can be converted into the mechanical work. Okay, we cannot give the explanation why the heat can be converted into the mechanical work. This is just about the first law of the thermodynamics. Next, we are studying about the PV diagram or the indicator diagram. PV diagram or indicator diagram. Now, PV diagram or indicator diagram can be defined as it is the process in which there will be the variation of the pressure and the value. Variation of pressure and value is called as PV diagram or the indicator diagram. Here two diagrams are there we have to study. Now let us consider on the x-axis we are considering the pressure, y-axis value. Now let us consider the diagram of the PV. Here it is coming down. Here we can tell that the PV diagram indicates that the gas can expand or the system can be expand. When the system expands, we are getting the diagram in this way. In the same way, again one more we are considering the pressure and the value on the x-axis and the y-axis, and here we are considering the graph. Now here we can tell that PV diagram indicates that when the system is compressed. When the system is compressed. That time we are getting the graph in this way. Next we have to study about the PV diagram for the cyclic process. PV diagram for cyclic process. Here we are considering the P and V. One is pressure and other one is value. Here we are getting the graph in this way. This is in the pressure and the value that it should be in a cyclic process. In this we can tell that area of the loop is equal to the work done. Area of a loop is equal to work done. This is the PV diagram for the cyclic process. Now next we are studying the second law of the thermodynamics. In the second law again we have to study here Clausius statement. It is always impossible to convert the heat from the cold body to a hot body by an external force. This is the Clausius statement or the second law of the thermodynamics. Now next again one more we have to study here Kelvin-Planck statement. According to this we are telling that it is impossible to get the continuous supply of the work by cooling a body to the temperature below the coldest of the surrounding. Is called as the Kelvin-Planck